Hello, my name is Harley, and I'm here to introduce my jammed Petaminx. Uh, I've been a puzzle collector since 1982 when I got my first Rubik's Cube and learned how to solve it by myself. I now own 78 different puzzles, including my newest one as a designer, the Harley's Jammed Petaminx. This is my new puzzle. I'm going to show you how I designed it and how it works and mix it up for you. This was inspired by Crazy Bad Cuber on YouTube, his 248 puzzle, which was made from a Shangshao 8x8 where he bandaged off 2x2 sections and then 4x4 sections to make it a 248 puzzle. I did the same thing, only in a little extreme manner with this Petaminx. I took a Petaminx, which is a 9-edge dodecahedron, and I bandaged off the edges and the corners. So basically it's a cross between a Petaminx, a Gigaminx, and a Megaminx. So now I will show you how I designed it and how it works. This is my jammed Petaminx. I came up with the design inspired by Crazy Bad's 248 puzzle, and that incorporates bandaging a 4x4 section into 2x2 sections and then a 1x1 section. So each one of these corners, there are 5 different kinds of corners: a untouched 4x4, a 2x2, a 2x2 where 2 are bandaged in the point and inside and the 2 edges are not, the 2x2 where 2 edges are bandaged and the point and inside are not, and the 1x1 where all 4x4 pieces are bandaged. The edges are 4 pieces, 1 at the bottom and 3 bandaged, 1 all 4 bandaged, 1 at the top and 3 at the bottom bandaged, and 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top bandaged. That makes 5 different kinds of corners and 5 different kinds of edges. The pattern transfers the same edge down to the next face and the same corner to the next 2 faces. This pattern causes each one of the faces on the middle section to have at least 2 corners the same, like this one and this one, and at least 2 edges the same. And that is the same on every one of the middle faces. The bottom has 5 single unique corners and 5 single unique edges, like the top does. Each one of the corners is opposite itself in design, and each one of the edges is opposite itself in design. There are 4 of each type of the 5 different corners, and there are 6 of each of the 5 different kinds of edges. This design that I came up with makes each one of the corners and each one of the edges unique. I then got stickers from Oliver Stickers, and I want to thank him for this beautiful work that he did on these stickers. I recommend that if you want to make your own puzzle, or if you want to replace any stickers that you have on any puzzle, you go to Oliver Stickers. I realized that the most bandaged it could be, it still has to be scrambleable, and to be able to scramble all the small pieces, it's proven by Tony Fisher when he went and did his truncated or his void Petaminx, that you only have to have a couple faces to turn it to be able to mix them up. In fact, the minimum amount of faces to mix a Petaminx is 2. If you could turn 2 faces, this will separate every one of the pieces at the top, second, third, and fourth layers. So to be able to come up with 2 faces on my puzzle that were completely scramblable, I had to make sure that there were enough small pieces on the 2 faces to do that. Since there are 4 corners that are untouched and 4 corners that are half and half this way and half this way, those can be combined, the point and inside and the 2 edges can be combined to make one of these. That means there are 4 of these, and combining those, 4 of these and 4 of these make 4 total more of those, making 8 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, making 2 faces scramblable on the small pieces for the corners. The 6 edges are like this. We'll take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making the top completely split as this is. The second face, since there are 5 of those and there are 6 total, 1 more can be used to fill in 1 edge, and then each of the 3 edges, there are 6 of each one of the splits. 1 split at the bottom, 1 split at the middle, and 1 split at the top. I can replace 3 of them with the top pieces, then I can replace them with the middle split, then I can replace them with the bottom split, and thereby mix up in everything entirely on 2 faces of all the smaller pieces. I also calculated that you could combine these 2 2x2 corners as long as you had enough 2x2 corners to cover 3 faces. And since there's 4 there, 4 there, 4 there, and 4 there, that will cover 12 different corners that will split in half. Also, there'll be 6 edges that can split in half here, and 6 edges that can split in half here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3 faces of half split edges and 5 corners, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all I would need is 10 corners and 12 edges to turn 3 faces the 2x2 split. That way I can take the other 2 and mix them together and combine them to make my 2x2 complete untouched corners out of the ones that are half and half. Once I've scrambled all the single pieces, I would go back and scramble the 2x2 sections, and then I would scramble the entire thing as a Megaminx. So I have a combination of a Megaminx with the 3 edges, a combination of the Gigaminx with the 5 edges, and a combination of the Petaminx with the 9 edges. So I will now attempt to scramble this and put it into the mode where I can combine the 2x2 sections by making 3 2x2 sections equal to a Gigaminx. The Jam for Jam DJ Systems, that's the name of my company. I had that stickers basically put over with a small piece of clear sticker, and as you can see, my MF8 manufacturer sticker from my Petaminx is worn down because I've already turned this quite a bit to make sure that it works. So I want to thank Tony Fisher again, Oliver Stickers, and Crazy Bad Cuber on YouTube for inspiring me to do this puzzle. So now I'm going to show that it scrambles and I'm going to turn the small edges up from the bottom to the top. It's kind of tight. When I built the thing, I realized that bandaging them would make them stiff and swell a little bit, and so I took the caps off and I loosened up the screws, but not quite enough to just enough to turn it. And I realized that if it was too much when I got all the smaller pieces on top, it would be too loose. So I have it just enough that it's not too tight to turn and not too loose to fall apart when I get all the small pieces at the top. I should probably put the edges in first. So actually, I got 6 untouched edges. There's one. Here's the blue one. Here's a red and pink one. If you've ever worked with the Petaminx, you know that if it's not lined up completely perfect, they do tend to grab and try to pull away from themselves. But fortunately, with the amount of bandaging I have in here, it makes the structure really strong, and it actually holds the pieces in better than a normal Petaminx. But you still do have to get it lined up when you want to turn it. So, first step, get all the edges that are untouched at the top. And as you can see on the puzzle, I filled in all the bandaged splits with, I put filler in all the splits when I glued them together. It came out really nice. So I have the 5 untouched edges right there. I add to that my 5 untouched corners, or 4 untouched corners, and one of the half and half untouched corners. There. As you see now, I have all untouched corners, all untouched the 5 of the 6 untouched edges, one of the half and halves. I put another untouched edge down here. So actually, I'm putting the 2x2 so I can scramble this. So I'm going to put a 2x2 edge here. I got one there, so I'll use that, and I'll put one there. So you can see this, I'm going to break and come back, and when I'm finished, I'll have all the stuff in place so I can show you the mixing process. Okay, so I've turned it so that there are 4 of the 4x4 corners at the top and 1 of the mixed. On this side I have 3 mixed, and on this side I have 2 more mixed. I then have untouched edges on the top, the last 6th one on this side. I have the halves on here, and the halves on here. That now makes the layer at the top turnable at the half and half point only because of this bandaged piece here and here. So this is now turnable halfway on this face. It's now turnable halfway on this face. There. It's turnable halfway on this face. And on this face, it's turnable halfway. So what I need to do is combine these two types of corners, the point corners and the unpoint corners. Well, I bring this one up. That way I have a bandaged one, unbandaged point, bandage point. So unbandaged point here, and bandage point here. Now if I do this, I combine the edges. Then I take them out and replace them with bandage one here, bandage one here. Well, I'm going to do that process. So when I'm done, I'll have all my untouched corners combined. So when you come back, I'll show you that. Okay, I've now combined all the small pieces from the half and halves and made 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 solid piece corners. I have to turn my 6 solid piece edges back to the way they were. Some of them are mixed. So at this point I'm going to do that. I've now combined all the edges so that there's 4 by 4 edges. All 6 of them are combined together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have all the corners making 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will then put them on 2 sides so that I can mix. I can now turn this one layer at a time, as you can see on the top. So what I need to do is make this side with the same splits and all the single pieces. So I'm going to put a top split on the last 3 edges. And that completes the top layer for mixing. I now prove that I can mix that top layer and that top layer, separating single pieces of each of the 2 faces. I'm now mixing up the very corner. I can do it 2 at a time, and 3 at a time, and split entire chunks with just the top layer. Then I will go back and I will replace the top split with the bottom split or a middle split, and mix it up even more until all of these pieces are separated and they're singled out. I've now replaced the top slice edges with middle slice edges, and now I'm able to turn it in the middle as well as across the top, middle, three-way. So I'm able to slice it deeper now. Now I've replaced the three edges with bottom slice pieces, which will cause the entire thing to rotate on the third slice and make it scrambleable even deeper. Incorporate some of the 3/4 slice pieces in to the mix to separate the last little pieces out of the other ones. Now I have all of the 3/4 splits mixed, both the top and the bottoms. I have all the half splits mixed. And I have all of the tiny single 4x4s mixed. Now I'm going to put it back into half edges on these three, and I'm going to mix up all of the Petaminx portions, the 2x2 corners that are not mixed. So I'm doing that next. Okay, I've set up the last of the 4x4 pieces on the three sides, white, red, and green. This is the last one, so I'm scrambling these in half here. And that mixes up the 2x2s. Then, that's all the 2x. Then as a final, I will scramble the Petaminx part. That pretty much mixes up, oh, that's the entire cube. And rebandages it so that it doesn't turn halfway across anything else again. So there is the mixed Harley's jammed Petaminx, and that's pretty much what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will go and solve this now, and it probably will take me a while. I don't know if I will sell many of these or if I'll make another one to sell, but I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.